What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and this video in specific is going to be a continuation of my last video where I talked about 3 second-round picks from this year's draft that I am really high on and believe can make an impact in the league throughout their careers. You all seem to really like that video, and there are definitely more second-rounders that I am high on than just those 3, so today I will be discussing 5 more players that were selected in the second round that I believe can develop into very good players down the line. First though, make sure to subscribe to the channel, as all support is very much appreciated. Now with that being said, let's get right into it. First up is the biggest project of the group, and it will probably be a few years before he fully develops into an NBA contributor, but his upside is extremely high, and that player is Kostas Papanikolaou, who was taken 60th overall, which is the very last pick in the draft, by the Dallas Mavericks. Kostas is the younger brother of Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is currently one of the best players in the entire league for the Milwaukee Bucks, which is a big reason why Kostas is so intriguing. Whether it's fair or not, anyone with the Antetokounmpo name will intrigue NBA teams because of their brother's rapid development from a raw project to NBA star. Giannis only scored 7 points per game his rookie year and didn't shoot the ball very efficiently at all, but he showed defensive promise, and over time his offensive game became nearly unstoppable, and Kostas is currently in a very similar position. At the moment, Kostas is also a project that will definitely need time to develop, and you shouldn't realistically expect him to give you much immediately his rookie year. Even at Dayton last year, he was by no means a star on the team and only made a marginal impact on the offensive side of the ball. He only scored 5.2 points per game, but he did shoot extremely well both at the basket and from the field, which is encouraging. In transition, he ranked in the 99th percentile because of his length, size, and quickness, which were tough to stop in space. But his issue is that he struggles when the game slows down, which is going to be his biggest weakness at the next level and is something that he will need to work on. His main impact was made on the defensive end of the floor, which is where he has enormous potential. At Dayton, he led the entire team in defensive plus-minus, and showed the ability to guard multiple positions, move his feet on the perimeter, and protect the rim in the paint. He uses his 7'2" wingspan to frustrate opponents trying to score on him, and he has the lateral quickness to keep up with them. His defensive potential is sky high, which is why I believe he will stick in the league for a while, and anything you get out of him on offense is just gravy. In Summer League this year, he showed the ability to be a solid rim runner, he finished at the basket very well, and he played some tremendous defense. Don't expect him to be out there on the floor on a nightly basis for the Mavericks this year, but in a few years, he will be someone to keep an eye out for. The next player up is Bruce Brown, who was selected 42nd overall by the Detroit Pistons. Coming into this past college basketball season, Brown was seen as someone with a legitimate chance at being a first-round pick, but things didn't exactly play out the way things were supposed to. He injured his foot during the season and had to have surgery on it, and his stock took a bit of a dip. Before the injury, though, he was seen as a potential two-way stud that every NBA team would love to have at the shooting guard position. The injury calmed those expectations down, but his recovery has been going well, and he was back out on the court for the Pistons in Summer League. He made a name for himself on the defensive end of the floor in college, where he was one of the best perimeter defenders available. He's quick, agile, and tough, and he excels at both on and off-ball defense. He has the ability to switch on to point guards, shooting guards, and small forwards, which is what you need to be able to do as a wing in today's NBA. In the Summer League, Brown lived up to the hype defensively, but offensively is where he showed some unexpected promise. He wasn't known as the best shooter coming out of college, but he showed that, while he may not excel at that part of the game yet, he is able to knock down catch-and-shoot opportunities, which is a good sign. The best part of his offensive game was his ability to use his strength to bully his defenders out of the way when he attacked the rim. His strong frame proved to be too much for some of his matchups, and he was able to just force them out of the way at times. The Pistons currently have a crowded backcourt, so Brown won't get the opportunity to play consistent minutes right away, but that might actually be better for him long term, as he is still coming off of an injury. The next player up on this list is another Piston who was taken 38th overall by the name of Kyrie Thomas. With Thomas, you will sense a bit of a recurring theme regarding what the Pistons were looking for with the guards they drafted. As a 3-year player coming out of Creighton, Thomas is a 2-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year. Like Bruce Brown, he's a tremendous perimeter defender, and he can make life hell for the point guard through small forward positions. His 6'10" wingspan will also help him translate that defensive production to the next level. Offensively, Thomas is a much better shooter than Brown is, as he shot 41.1% from 3 last season and 53.8% from the field. He doesn't take bad shots, and his jumper is no fluke, as he shot above 39% from 3 in all of his seasons in college. As his college career progressed, he also improved a ton at attacking and finishing around the rim. While it may not be his biggest strength yet, he is capable and he won't force it if it's not there. His athleticism is a bit lacking, but his footwork and basketball IQ on both ends of the floor make up for it. On the Pistons, he is more likely to get minutes than Brown right away because he's a much better shooter. So far in Summer League, Pistons fans have come away impressed. His defense was on par with his expectations, and he's been consistently hitting shots in the catch-and-shoot situations. He likely won't spend much time handling the ball right away, so his ability to make shots off the catch is huge at the next level. He's drawn comparisons to Avery Bradley at the next level, and Bradley was one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA during his Boston days, so that certainly isn't a bad player to be compared to. Next up on this list is Keita BatesDiop, who was selected 48th overall by the Minnesota Timberwolves. BatesDiop played all 4 years at Ohio State, and 4-year players rarely get much respect by NBA scouts, no matter how productive their career was. As we are now seeing with Josh Hart on the Lakers, Josh was a 4-year player coming out of Villanova and was taken at the very end of the first round last year, but he came into the league and now looks like a very good player moving forward for the team. BatesDiop can have a similar story as Hart and become a good all-around player at the next level. He won Big Ten Player of the Year last season for good reason, and he was a walking bucket. His offensive game is very polished, he's fundamentally sound, and he scores from all 3 levels. He's not the fastest or most athletic, but neither of those aspects are by any means negatives in his game either. He creates separation off the dribble, and he has a good professional arsenal of moves at his disposal. As someone who stands at 6'9", his ability to handle the ball as well as he does will create some mismatches at the next level for when he plays some power forward. One move he utilizes a lot is the floater, which is very tough to stop from a defensive standpoint against someone of Diop's size. He used this well in Summer League, and it should continue to be a good move for him in the NBA. Defensively, he wasn't necessarily projected to be a plus defender yet, but he has played surprisingly well in Summer League on that end of the floor. He's been under control, and his timing has been solid, and he's been getting numerous blocks, steals, and deflections to show for it. If he's able to continue to improve on that end of the floor, then Coach Tibbs of the Timberwolves will love him, and he could get immediate playing time. The last player up is Trent Jr. out of Duke, who was taken 37th overall, but then traded to the Trailblazers. Trent was rated 8th best prospect when he was in high school coming into college, but when you commit to teams as big as Duke, you risk sacrificing attention and recognition for wins. The limelight shined brightest on Marvin Bagley, Wendell Carter, and Grayson Allen on that team, so Trent didn't necessarily get to show everything he was capable of doing on this team. He was originally rated so high because he has such a sweet stroke on his jump shot, and he really is a very good shooter, along with the fact that he has a solid frame and good size. Now with the Trailblazers, he was able to show off more of his game in the Summer League, having been given more freedom. He's been creating off the dribble a lot more than he had at Duke, and he's been knocking down shots off the dribble much more often. He's showing more signs of why he was a projected lottery pick before the season, and the Blazers might have just found a diamond in the rough. As long as he keeps knocking down shots and improving his playmaking ability, he should definitely crack the rotation at some point for the Blazers this season. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. New videos come every week, so stay tuned for that, and on that note, I'll see you next video.